Old Guy Talks is all about creating a kick-ass life for yourself and those that you love. Don't wait, don't hesitate, don't procrastinate. Opt in now. This is Ors, the old guy from www.oldguytalks.com with Jesse Ewell of the Habit-Based Lifestyle. And we're going to be talking about meditation specifically today. But before we do that, I want to get some background information. I've had my investigators check Jesse out. They've been snooping around his house, going through his trash. Some very interesting stuff in your trash there, Jesse. So I want Jesse to kind of spill the beans about who is this man and what's his habit-based lifestyle all about?
Yeah, so habit-based lifestyle is something I created just based off looking back at my life and what got me to where I am today and what got me to just kind of like where I've been and what I've done from, being in high school, being an athlete, to boxing, to playing football, to playing college football, to bodybuilding, to being a personal trainer for 20 years, and then getting into like life coaching, lifestyle coaching just over the last 4 years. And I really just started to look at what got me to where I am. And when I looked at it, even the bad stuff, it was, habits. And, so when I really sat down and looked, I had created this thing called challenge-based lifestyle. And I had a podcast on this about 1.5 2 years ago. And I kind of thought, well, nobody really understands what challenge-based lifestyle is. And so I really brought it back down to, well, in order for me to pull off a challenge, I actually have to have these habits that get me to these, 12-week challenges or 90-day challenges, whatever you call them. And so I started looking at, well, what is the key thing that goes into a challenge? And it was the habits. And so what I do is I customize habits to get people to where they want to be. And so that's really what habit-based lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that is specifically on, building habits, learning how to implement them, learning how to get rid of them, and just really customizing them to fit into your life and make it a lifestyle.
Okay. And if somebody wants to work with you, where do they go?
So I have a website. It's JESSEEWELL, which is jesseewell.com. And then I also have a website called habitbasedlifestyle.com. The big thing for me is I get people into what's called the 30-day habit boot camp. And what I really want people to see is, I come from a fitness background. And as much as I love fitness, people in fitness are liars. Most trainers, most gym owners, they're liars. And here's why, is they tell you that fitness and nutrition are going to completely change your life. And it's a lie, because you can change, you can change your nutrition and you can change your fitness. And that's just one part of life. And so you're actually creating a bigger gap. And you can think of it this way, is like people may change their diet, but it doesn't change their mindset. People can change what type of foods they eat, and it doesn't necessarily change their beliefs. It doesn't change their stories. It doesn't change, how they feel about themselves. It may temporarily, it's an external thing to change an internal issue. And so it's kind of like we're trying to change this external portion of ourselves when the issue is the internal. And I love fitness and I love nutrition, but unfortunately we've sold people on this story that if you change your body and if you change your nutrition, like your whole life changes. And it does to a certain extent, but it's a temporary fix to a long-term problem.
Okay. Well, that's a good segue here for us to start talking about meditation.
Yeah, we have a little bit different type of fitness.
Yeah, I have a little. So, what is meditation?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of schools of thoughts. One is, the practice of thinking and deeply focusing on your mind. Um, like I personally, what my experience is meditation is becoming aware,
Mhm.
and being able to be in this present moment of like what's going on today, right here, right now. And I would say, for me, learning how to do this 4.5, 5 years ago and practicing it, like I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but what I found for myself is meditation is pulling me back into the present moment.
Mhm.
Okay. And even this is like, we hear this thing of be present, be present, but like really being present is already gone the minute I say that, because time doesn't necessarily stop, it keeps going. And so being present is kind of in between this presence and future. There's a small window and a small gap where we can actually be present in the moment. And so I really look at this as it's just having an awareness of where you're living right now in the moment.
Mhm. Okay. So, what kind of benefits do you see for people that do meditation? How's it transform them?
Well, so I think one of the first things it does is it decreases stress. Um, it changes our state, and so we have kind of these three states we'll live in: the past, the future, or the present. And so most people spend the majority of their life living in the past. Okay, past feelings, past emotions, past behaviors, past patterns, past reactions. So to change the state, the benefit of changing my state from going to the past to the present is how I change my state. Or, we have this fear, this anxiety that's in the future. By meditating, it gives me this awareness and brings me back to this present moment. Another benefit is just being aware of yourself, um, being aware of like your body, what's going on. It's relaxing. It can reduce anxiety. And a big thing that a lot of people don't talk about is it regulates your heartbeat.
Mhm.
And so if you measure your heart rate variability, which affects your stress levels and hormones and stuff like that, that's a huge thing just on mental stress.
Okay. How long do you meditate?
How long do I, or how long should I?
Well, you can answer both those questions.
Well, so here's the thing: is one of the things that I teach is this. Okay. There's optimal meditation, and then there's just starting out. So I would say, most people, they skip out on this. Even the people that I train in habit-based lifestyle, this is one of the main things that we teach. But I always tell people, look, start with 2 minutes, start with 60 seconds. And as you're consistent with that, you can increase your time. But I would rather see someone be consistent with meditation than just do 30 minutes once a week.
Mhm.
So I would definitely say, optimal is 16 to 20 minutes. If you go above that, that's great. If what I've kind of experienced, if I go much more than about 35, I end up falling asleep. Just a little bit different type of meditation. So, for what I've experienced and what I've found and what I've studied, 16, 20 minutes, as you get more experienced at this, then you can go longer and longer. But I would say typically, some people say, well, I fall asleep. And I said, well, you fall asleep because your brain is not trained to actually be in that state for that long of a period.
Mhm. What you mentioned, what kind of different kind of meditations are out there right now that are available to people?
So there,
Hello? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
endless supplies.
Jesse, we're breaking up a little bit here. Uh-oh, folks, a little hit. He's coming back.
There you go. You there?
Oh, yeah, I'm there.
Okay. So let's go back to, we'll go back to the different types. So there's body scan embodiment work where we're kind of like internally going through a body, checking for, resistance, checking for maybe stress, anxiety. Like we're really scanning our body to go through like, hey, what's going on inside of me? There's, guided meditation where maybe someone else is leading it or talking through something. There's, mindfulness meditation of just being mindful of, hey, where am I at right now? And then there's breath awareness. So like box breathing, where we would, breathe in for 4 seconds. We would hold that for 4 seconds. We would breathe out for 4 seconds, and then we would hold that for 4 seconds. And so it would look similar to a box. There's HRV breathing, which is one of the ones I practice a lot. And it's breathing in through your nose and then breathing out through your mouth. And you'd breathe in for 5 seconds. You'd breathe out for 7 seconds. But basically the breath out is longer than the breath in. And the one thing I want to stress on just the breath stuff is the importance of breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then also doing some belly work. So like softening your belly, things like that, to where it's now coming down into my belly instead of just all head and all shoulders. So sometimes when we breathe, we have a tendency to, do stuff like that. And then you have yoga. You have a lot of different types of yoga, which that's a moving meditation. So like Kundalini yoga is really huge for meditation, but really any practice of yoga to me is like a moving meditation.
Oh, okay. Do you do yoga?
Every once in a while I do. Yeah. So
yeah, like yoga is a 4-letter word.
yeah.
That's how I tore my bicep tendon, was in a yoga class.
Okay.
So, but that's a whole nother story.
And then probably the most popular is, there's 2 most popular, which is mantra based. And then you have, your guided meditation. And then you also have a lot of your apps, like Headspace, Calm, Brain FM, different things like that. Here's what I will say. Okay. The story goes something like this. The only wrong type of meditation is no meditation. And I really believe that meditation is one of the simplest things that we can do with like this huge benefit. Mm-hmm. And just like anything else, like if you go to the gym one time, you're not going to be great at it. You're not going to figure it all out. If you go to the gym 100 times, probably still not going to have it figured out. I've been going to the gym for 30 years. I don't have it all figured out. And so when we look at meditation, I like to compare it to exercise. It's kind of this never ending exploration, and you probably will never really figure it out. And once you think you do, this whole other world opens up, and there's, so much more out there.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that happens is mind drifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting a little echo off your site there.
Is that better now?
Yeah. Okay. So what happens as far as goes people's mind drifts during? Is that good, bad, or is that just part of the process?
It's sort of like an exercise. It's like we live in this world today where it's like, Facebook, email, Instagram, check, phone call, text. And so we're constantly bouncing back and forth like a squirrel. So the minute we sit in this quiet space, our mind is still used to being distracted. And, you know, so there's nothing wrong with it. I think the bigger issue is like, how do we be okay with that? And like, your mind's drifting and you're like, hey, I'm drifting. Like, let's just come back to where I'm at right now. And to me, that's where breath work really comes into play. And even like mantra-based meditation really come into play, is they allow us the ability to come back to the present moment, either by focusing on our breath, or they allow us to come back to the present moment by maybe focusing on a word or a sentence. And so I think it's perfectly normal inside of meditation to drift, and when you first start doing it, especially, just to kind of be all over the place. And so I would just challenge people to really look at it as an opportunity to the present moment.
Okay. All right. Is there a particular type of meditation that you like for yourself better than others?
So the most stuff I work on is embodiment, which is like, you know, kind of doing like a body scan. I'll do these a lot of times in the evening, or maybe just when I'm stressed. I'll close my eyes and work on breathing and just kind of find out where the stress is coming from, you know, or where there's pressure, maybe where there's resistance, and I'll just work on breathing through that. I do a lot of breath work stuff, so a lot of the HRV breathing, because that helps a lot with heart rate variability. And when I say these things, these
Jesse, I'm not sure, we broke up again. I don't know if you can hear me, but we've stopped.
could do. You still there, Oris?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
We broke up again for just a little bit. So
So embodiment is one of the ones that I really do a lot of. Breath work, the HRV breathing is what I do a lot of, and then mantra based. I do a lot of that, and I also do a lot of guided meditation.
Oh, okay. All right. So Jesse, if someone wanted to work with you, we already know they can contact you at habitbasedlifestyle.com.
Right.
What does your program consist of? Basically, what you have a 30-day program, and what's that consist of?
Yeah, so the 30-day habit boot camp is kind of an intro into building a foundation of habits. And so what we really focus on is how to start implementing simple habits into your daily life, to where you can begin making this very simple and very practical. And it's also a way for you to begin to eliminate destructive habits that aren't getting you what you want. And so really what I want people to experience in the first 30 days is how simple habits can be, and how simple it is to actually change your life and begin changing your whole state of being. You know, typically I have people that lose, 12 to 15 pounds in their first month of working in my program, and I don't ever prescribe an actual diet or workout program. And I believe it's because they're starting to change their entire energy. They're starting to change their entire state of being, which tends to get people to lose a lot more weight, have a lot less stress, and begin, just focusing on themselves in four areas of life instead of just working off one.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, there you have it. My conversation here with Jesse from Habit-Based Lifestyle, and you know how to get a hold of him through habitbasedlifestyle.com to make a big change, a big impact in the quality of your life. And we're not just talking about exercising, but just in all four areas of your life. This is Orris, the old guy from www.oldguytalks.com signing off. And remember, it's all about creating a kick-ass life for yourself and those that you love. If you are interested in creating a kick-ass life for yourself and those that you love, then become a member at oldguytalks.com and get access to the cave area, where not only do I have my interviews with doctors on cutting-edge therapies for erectile dysfunction, but I will have other things that are posted in there that will help you create that kick-ass life that you want for yourself and others. And we're going to be talking a lot about different kinds of vices and virtues. So opt in and become a member